If you want to use voice access on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8, you just want to go to Settings. Over here, we're gonna scroll all the way down, and then you want to go to Accessibility. Over here in Accessibility, you should be able to find Interaction and Dexterity, and then over here we have the voice access, which we can easily enable just by tapping on the switcher, or you can tap on the voice access itself to find some additional options, and it is actually worth checking out even before you activate voice access to figure out what you can say out loud and what you can actually do with the voice access. Like for example, here we have some example voice commands, so of course it is worth getting to know them. So in my case, I'm just going to activate the voice access. Over here we have the setup. So you want to go through all of this to familiarize yourself, to find out what it does and how it works. Also, we have to grant the access for voice access to send you notifications. I mean, it is just convenient to do so. I'm not sure if this is the requirement, but I assume that it is anyway. So, and now we can tap on the done over here, and we have the tutorial. So of course, it is also worth checking out the tutorial. It goes deeply into the details, and it pretty much explains everything on how to use voice access and what you can do with it. I'm just gonna try to keep it very simple, just to figure out how to use it in general, how we can actually utilize it in very basic ways. But besides that, you can also choose, for example, here in the listening preference, if the voice access should listen for commands whenever your screen is on, which is apparently the recommended option, or you can make it stop listening after 30 seconds of inactivity. So it's up to you which option you prefer. And of course, you want to grant the permission over here to make sure that the voice access can use the microphone to detect your your speech. And as you can see here at the top, voice access is now activated. Of course, as I say things, you will probably quite often see that the command was not recognized or something like that, but that is completely fine. Over here we have the basics, so here we have the information that we can start voice access by tapping the voice access toggle. If Gemini or Google Assistant is on, you can say, hey Google, start voice assist, sorry, hey Google, start voice access to start using the voice access again. You can also swipe down from the top of your screen and tap voice access notifications. So essentially you can go to notifications, and as you can see here, we have the notification from voice access, which is pretty much always there. You can see that we can tap on the notification to actually make it stop listening as well. I'm just going to close the tutorial, but once again, I actually encourage you to go through it. And by the way, over here, we also can read that we can just say stop listening out loud to stop the voice access, of course. All right, so let's close this. Here we also have a prompt that says that we can reopen the tutorial by saying open a tutorial when voice access is on. So let's start the voice access. And what I can do is I can, for example, say that I want to open a specific app. Let's say I'm gonna use open settings. And let's see if it's going to work. There we go, now it is activated. So let's wait for that. Open settings. There we go. Settings have been opened. Now I can say, let's say, go back. One more time. Go back. There we go. And let's say I'm gonna try to open the home screen. Go home. One more time. Go home. Go home. There we go. So essentially I needed to repeat myself a couple of times because I just tried to explain all of these things to you, and the voice access keeps listening. And if I just keep saying, as you can see, it tries to catch what I'm trying to make it do. So what I'm trying to make the voice access to do with the phone. So essentially I need to wait for it to confirm, or to try to use that voice command, and then once it is cleared, once it waits for another command, then I can of course say it again. That is pretty much all the basics that you need to know about voice access. Once again, check out the tutorial which explains everything that you need to know about the voice access. Also in the settings of voice access, once again, you should be able to find some example commands, so make sure to check them out in case you forget them. And that's pretty much it. There is also this thing that you can make voice access to do. You can just say, what can I say? And then voice access should provide you some information about it. There is also the limited list of or limited amount of languages and that are supported with the voice access, so you probably want to actually check out if your language is included over here. So leave a like and subscribe.